Hi everyone, this is Crispy1001 at kpcoolstuff.com. This is our 17th video on how to use Blender and the Blender2FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. In this video we're going to create our chair for our cockpit, or our seat for our cockpit. We're going to put in our glass for our cockpit, and we're also going to animate the front landing gear, which we haven't did yet. Then we're going to set up for our virtual cockpit. We're going to replace the old virtual cockpit Blender file with a new one we're going to set up. So let's get started. So let's open Blender. Okay, so I'm going to go into let's go ahead first and initialize our tool set. And we're going to go Control and number pad 3. Oop, I forgot to turn on my screencast. Okay. So that's a Control and number 3 to go in left orthographic view. We're going to reposition our 3D cursor to about right there. We're going to add a cube, so Shift A and mesh and cube. Zoom in. We're going to go into edit mode, so tab, A to unselect everything. I'm going to go out of face mode into verticing mode. I'm going to select the top vertices, so I'm going to do a box select. I'm going to grab and move them in the Z direction to about right there. Looks like we need to move them up some as well. So I'm going to hit A to unselect. I'm going to go into tab mode, to object mode, hit tab. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oops. Zoom in. I'm going to have to move it up some, so make sure you're in object mode, hit G and Z. Move it about right there. So at the bottom of our plane. Go back into edit mode by hitting tab. We're going to put a loop cut right here. So we're going to hit Control R and move it to about right there and click to enter it. And we're going to hit A to unselect, B to box select again, select these vertices, do E for extrude, and Z for the Z axis, and extrude up to about right there. Hit A to unselect, and let's go out of edit mode by hitting tab. Let's go to a a top down view, so 7 on the numeric tab. Okay, so we're not centered. So we're going to go over, and if you don't have this little window here open, click on the little plus right here, and it'll open up this window, or hit, I think it's the N key. Yeah, hit your N on your keyboard, and it'll open or close that little window. We're going to move in the x-axis to 0. So right here on location, type in 0. That'll center our seat. We want to leave it on the y-axis where it's at. Let's go back into a left orthographic view. Okay, that's good. So the seat is done. Now we just need to name it. So let's go to our Object tab in our Properties window and type in Seat. We want to make sure we have Seat selected. Then in our tree view, hold down the Shift and click on Body. Put your cursor back in the 3D workspace and hit Control P. And we're setting the parent of the chair to the body of the plane. Okay, so that's done. Hit A to unselect everything. Okay, the next thing we're going to let's go ahead and apply a simple color right now to the seat. So later on, when we do go in and we want to do our baking of a 3D render, we'll already have colors set up for it. So let's go to Materials. This object has no material added to it yet. Also, we probably want to, let me think. Actually, I should have went ahead and selected or added the chair to the mesh of the body. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's select the chair first, make sure it's selected, then hold down the shift and select the body, and then do a Control J, I believe. Yep, that did it, Control J. So that selects the body of the chair and the body of the plane. That makes them all one mesh. So now let's hit Z to go into a solid mode. So that's going to go ahead and already give the chair a color, probably whatever the body is, but we want to change it. We'll make it a brown color. So let's going to make sure your fuselage body is selected, and hit Tab to go into edit mode. Let's go into face mode. Let's select the faces of the chair, hold down shift, the ones further down you're not really going to be able to see, so we're not going to change the color of those. Okay, so we have that. Let's see if we have any color. We don't already have a color that we want to use. So let's add a material. So hit the plus. Let's hit new. Let's name it seat or seat color. Let's go down to the diffuse color and choose something about right there. Make it a little darker to make it look brown. That'll be pretty good. Now in the specularity, well, let's leave that alone. Let's change the intensity to 0.10. And remember to hit assign. Okay, so now we've assigned the colors to those faces. Okay, that's good. Now, while we're already here in the same place, let's go ahead and add one more material. This is going to be for the glass, or the glass we're going to be putting in the cockpit. So let's hit the plus, get new, and let's name it glass. Click on diffuse color. Let's choose a blue. And let's go to specularity intensity 0.10. And let's create faces now for the openings in our windows. So make sure you go back down to vertice select. So we're going to choose this vertice, that vertice, that vertice, and that vertice. Hit F to create a face, and it's the right direction, so that's good. Now let's choose that vertice, that vertice, that vertice, and that vertice. Hit F for face. Okay, that one is reversed because we can see through it. For the virtual cockpit, that would be fine because it'd be in the inside, but this is the exterior. So what we want to do, go to Mesh, go to Normals, and flip Normal. Okay, that's good. Then let's go to this side, choose that vertex, this vertex, that vertex, and that vertex. Hit F. OK for face. Now, with that one still selected, let's choose to face selection mode. Hold down Shift, select that face and that face. Now, because we're still in the materials and we want to make sure that we have glass selected, hit Assign. Okay, now that made our glass areas now blue. And remember, this is just for baking. All these colors are going to be replaced with an actual single texture with all of our burnt colors on that one texture sheet. And the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to set up the alpha channel for making your glass transparent. Okay, now that we have that done, let's go out of, let's hit A to unselect everything. Let's hit Tab to go out of edit mode. Okay, now we're going to animate our front landing gear. So you can see the beginning of our animation for FSX, we are in a left-hand turn. So we want to set up our landing gear to be turning this direction, so we would go left on the ground. So I don't know if we have a animation pivot point set up for this yet. So let's check and see. Let's go into wireframe mode Z. Okay, we do not. So we're going to go into left orthographic view. I'm going to reposition my 3D cursor. I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to insert a cube. I'm going to size the cube to about there. Now we just messed up our scale, so let's make sure we hit Control A and reset our scale to 1. That's good. We are going to name this object front landing gear control. We're going to, with that still selected, we're going to go down and we're going to turn on X-ray for this so we can see through it, or see it through other materials or objects. Okay, and then we need to parent these to this. Now I need to make sure to unparent the front wheel and the front landing gear from the body to this, and then we're going to parent our control to the body. So let's click on the wheel and let's hit Alt P. We want to clear parent. We want to click on the landing gear, front landing gear, hit Alt P, clear parent. Okay, now we want to take this wheel and we want to hold, make sure you select it. Also hold down Shift and select the front landing gear. And then let's find our front landing gear control, which is right here. So hold down the Shift and select it in your tree structure. And then hit Control P. Set object to parent, or set parent to object. Okay, so now, these are parented to our front landing gear control. So if you drop that down, you can see them now. Now we want to make sure we click on front landing gear control. We want to hold down Shift and click on body. Bring your 3D cursor back into the 3D workspace. Hit Control P and set parent to object. So now, here it is here. make sure now we have our front landing gear control selected. We're going to go into a top-down view. So 7. Oh, nuts. I have it off center. And I think if we move this, the others are going to move too. So we may have to unparent them. So let's hit G and Z or X. Yep, so that's not going to work. So hit escape. So I messed up. So let's, over here in our tree structure, hit front tire and front landing gear. And let's hit Alt P, clear parent. We're now going to select our front landing gear control. We're going to center it. So let's zoom up here. Let's go into the X, which is here, and type in 0. Oh, let me think. Yes. Okay, that zeroed it up. Now we can go back, select the front landing gear and the front tire, holding down Shift. Then go down, find front landing gear control, hold down Shift and click on it. Then put your cursor back into the 3D workspace and hit Control P. Set parent to object. Okay, now we're good. And now we're set up again like we were before. Now let's click on just the front landing gear control by itself. And remember, we want to turn that in the Z direction, and we're going to do it by 20 degrees. So we're going to hit R for rotate. We're going to do it Z for the Z axis, and we're going to do 20 and enter. Now we need to add a keyframe. Oops, I forgot something else. With the front key landing gear or front landing gear control still set up, we need to add our FSX animation tag. So let's make sure we hit initialize toolset again. There it is. Oh, we're already on rudder. That's good. But if you're not there, you want to click right here under the search, type in rudder, hit enter, and then click on rudder %key and hit assign. Then it should show up under the FSX properties animation tag rudder %key and then your link. Okay, so now that is set up. Now we can go in, make sure you're at your 0 starting position on your animation. Make sure your mouse is in the 3D workspace and hit I to insert a keyframe for rotation. Okay, so that one is added. So now we will go to 50. Oops. We will hit R again and Z and a -20 to put it back centered. We'll hit I again to do a rotation keyframe. Now we'll change that to 100. Our animation. Go back up, hit rotate Z -20, enter I for rotate, and enter a keyframe for rotation. Put it back to 0. And if you hit play, you can see the animation. Okay, that is good. Let's put it back to 0. Oops. Okay, animation back to 0. Let me pause for a minute and see how much time I have left on this video. Okay, I'm getting close to the point where I want to end this. So let's make sure we hit File and Save. Make sure you're backing up your work. So I'm going to go ahead and close my Blender file. Open your main project folder for your plane folder. Click on Test Plane or whatever you named your Blender file. Copy it, go into backup files, and paste it. And I'm going to rename it with a underscore, and this will be my 10th save for this file. Okay. So the next time, or the next video, we're going to set up a new file for our virtual cockpit. We're then going to start working on doing our materials. So we're going to make a new material for the baking process. We're going to bake it. We'll use GIMP to add in our alpha channel for our glass, and if we have enough time, we will test it on Flight Simulator. So I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I thank you. Bye.